Hello, my name is Ben from Amagodopostad, and welcome to the show. For us here at Amagodopostad, 2022 and all the way to 2021 has been quite a challenging year, and I believe it has been the same for many farmers, especially here in Kenya, where we've been ravaging through one of the most toughest droughts that we've seen in a very long period. And this has taught us many lessons. And I think for us farmers, it's important that we learn not only from the good things that we do, but also from the mistakes that we make and from what life throws at us. So I actually think if I was to do it all over again, I would first secure the feed, then bring the sheep, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Feed plays a very crucial role when it comes to your feedlot. Because remember, even if you have the right genetics and your feed is not right, both from a quality, nutritional point of view and a quantity point of view, you will miss out on the gains that you would actually make by you having your animals on the feedlot. It is then important that we look at the quality of feed that we put in. Remember the saying, garbage in, garbage out. Same thing applies. Quality in, quality out. You'll be able to, if you have good genetics, good feed, you'll be able to raise your animals, let them gain the right weight within the right frame of time, and you will be having animals ready for the market at the desired quality, and hence price will not be an issue. An important note to note is, and this is a question that comes most of the time, is what is the right feed or the quantity of feed we need to feed our animals. A general rule of thumb is to say and look at it this way, that an animal on a daily basis feeds 3% of its body weight. So let's take an example of an eel. Your eels weighing an average weight of about 50 kilos will eat 3% of their body weight, which adds up to 1.5 kgs a day. And if you multiply this by, for example, if you have a flock of 50 ewes, that adds up to 750 kgs of feed per day. One of the learnings that we have picked up when it comes to feed is managing the cost of the feed. Most of the time, you only have two options. Either you grow the feed or you source the feed. And in both cases, you need to critically look at what you are able to do, not only at your farm, but also are you able to lease land out there to grow your own feed, to feed your animals, or are you able to competitively be able to source good feed at competitive prices, which leave you with a margin at the end of the day. What we've decided to do here at Amago Farm is to start increasing our footprint when it comes to growing our own feed. Currently, we are working on a nursery where we are testing out two main fodder crops. One is the brachiara and the other one is the lucerne. And as you can see, we've been at it for about 1.5 months now, and clearly what we have seen is that we can actually grow our lucerne and our brachiara in the hot, humid climate of Machakos. And for us, this is an eye-opener. Now the next phase would be, now having tested the growth of this fodder, is to move into another set of new fodder, and that's the super napier, which we will also be testing it out. And Once we are clear in terms of how well it can do and what the learnings are from it, then we can be able now to extend this into bigger acreage. Because clearly, if we can be able to grow our lucerne, given the crude protein that it has, which is very high, we will actually be reducing the cost that we are currently paying or forking out when it comes to purchasing of high energy, high protein raw materials, the likes of maize germ, maize bran, and soya. So farmers, these are learning that you could also try out in your farm is grow your own feed. But what is important, check out on the crude protein. Because at the end of the day, remember your efforts are only going to be done in a place where you can be able to get the best out of it. So given that you have 24 hours in a day, why don't you put out the best you can in terms of fodder? And that's how we chose Brachiara, because of its palatability. You'll notice its leaves are not in any way, harsh or rough towards the animals when it comes to chewing them. The other thing is that they will offer the current, what we need in terms of biomass, which we will be able to get from this. And also the soluble sugars are also plenty in that. That's another reason why we'll be trying out the Super Napier, and we will be able to share the same with you. Because for us here at Amago Dopers, all we care about is sharing our experiences with our farmers so that they may be able to grow. Because farming is fun, but at the end of the day, it needs to be profitable. So whatever mistakes we make, we don't want you to make the same mistakes. So keep it locked on the channel. We'll be able to share with you, as we've done since we started sowing and growing of our nursery test phase. We'll be sharing with you when we move to the next phase, where we'll be trying to do it out in a bigger field, on irrigation, on a bit more extended area, and we'll be able to share with you the ins and outs. Thank you.
What is the problem with feeding the animals? Most of the time when I feed the animals with feeds from, buying the unga,
Yes.
the unga one,
Yes.
from the feed, I fall to an occasion where my animals are bloating, my animals are, weakening again, and I'm feeding them. What is this that you feed animals in the, what is this that should be done while feeding the animals with the unga stuff?
Okay, what you find, Morgan, and this is a problem that is widespread. What you find is that once you introduce the animals to concentrate, or what you're referring to as unga, remember, the stomachs of those animals have not been designed to take grain. So what is important for you is take them through what we refer to as an adaptation process. So for example, we always refer to an animal eats 3% of its body weight. But when you're starting on the concentrates, you don't start at 3% of its body weight. So given a 50 kg sheep, live weight may need to take about 3 kgs a day. Don't start on 3 kgs of concentrate. Start at 500 to 700 grams. Feed it slowly for about an adaptation process of 10 to 14 days before you ramp up to 2.5, 3 kilos. The other important thing to keep in mind is also when you're feeding them like that, you need to have vaccinated them before with the Clostridial vaccine. Because remember, the Clostridial vaccine takes care of quite a number of diseases. And one of those diseases is enterotoxemia. Yeah, which you can easily suffer when you introduce grain to the animals. So first start by vaccinating, and then deworm, and then now start them on that feeding. Maybe 7 to 10 days after you've done the vaccinations. And start it slowly. It's called the adaptation process. And this is where people make a mistake, because the margin of error with the cattle is bigger, but for the sheep is narrower. The cattle can take a bit of beating, but the sheep, if you rush it through that process, you'll get those problems. of bloating, sudden weakness, it's regurgitating, it's not eating well. Those will be the issues you may suffer from. And especially another one called acidosis. Yes.
Thank you, Bernard.
Yeah.